Well, thank you, Larry. This is really an honor and a privilege, a pleasure. I'm excited. I'm really excited for this opportunity. Now, you might have asked a loaded question because I'm a Baptist preacher too. So
Oh boy,
you give me free mic. I don't know.
we could be here for
We
hours.
could be here for
Yeah.
hours. And I'm sorry, guys out there, but no, I'm a transplant. I'm from Kentucky originally, but I got here as fast as I could. So
Yep.
I love Texas. I've been here longer now than I've been at my other state there. So I've been here 35 years. Been in Potter County 30 years, and I'm excited to serve this precinct in this particular way. I never thought about public office, but my whole life has been wrapped around serving, and that's what I've done here. Being raised the way I was, in Kentucky, we were a tight family. The community was tight. If someone had a hard time, we just showed up.
Mm-hmm.
I was raised in a blue collar home. My mom was a full-time mom of 4 children. Dad worked. He worked a labor job, so he didn't make really good money. But we weren't poor. I mean, we weren't. I don't want to bring that. I don't want to make it look that way. But we didn't have extra, so we pinched. And I remember Dad many times coming home from work and emptying our cabinets of food and canned goods and taking it to someone who had it worse than we did. And so I was raised around that type of environment. My grandfather, my mom's parents, was a big influence in my life. I lived with them as a young child for some years. My dad traveled a lot in the military, and so that gave us a stable place.
Mm-hmm.
So going to church was my whole life. I was practically born in the pew. Mm-hmm. And my,
same.
My papaw was also he worked for the school system. He was the head of custodial work there, and he pastored this little church. And so that also the church world was different. Pastors weren't. It wasn't a vocational. It was bivocational. Most of the pastors I knew, that's how they had regular jobs, if you want to call it that.
Mm-hmm.
So I was raised in kind of a unique environment where is all about really just about serving. And but throughout high school, I went from being really active in the church through elementary and junior high. I had an affinity for the church, honestly. I remember as a young boy, at 5 years old, we lived in Illinois. And Forest, Illinois. It was in between one of my dad's tours, and he was working at the federal prison there up in Pontiac. And I would walk myself to church. We had a little church down at the end of our alley. And so Dad worked nights, and so Mom, they would sleep in. And my siblings, I don't know, I can't recall. I'm sure they were probably still in bed. But I remember getting up Sunday on my own and getting dressed and going to church. I don't.
When you were 5?
Yeah, I was 5. I was in kindergarten, Meadowbrook Elementary School, Forest, Illinois.
Mm-hmm.
I'd walk to that little church down there, and so I don't know. I just had an affinity for church. I can't explain that part, but I just did.
Mm-hmm.
So growing up, I was really active in the church until high school, and football was my whole life. I had an uncle who was a football player, and he played for Cincinnati and on a scholarship.